There seems to be a dark mystery that surrounds exactly why artists seem so fascinated by the nude. It is easy to imagine the artist and subject alone in the studio with dim lighting and a provocative mood, where work might not be quite as important as the potential of unseemly play. As romantic as this may seem, there is actually much more serious business going on in this situation. I'm Michelle LeVan, the artist, coming to you from the ArtPrintExpress.com studio. Since time immemorial, artists have created works of art inspired by the human figure. Even with this rich history, and considering our enlightened modern culture where twerking can be aired on primetime TV, the nude is a subject that is often categorized, criticized, and misunderstood because of social taboos. One of my longtime artist friends that create fantastic nudes with ARTitude is Lois VanLiew. Because she has always had a deep passion for the human figure, I thought she could offer some insight on why nudes are so fascinating to artists.
My real passion for drawing the figures started in college. I got my degree from KU, and we had a very heavy concentration of figure work every semester. And I just really loved it. So everywhere we went, I always looked for a place to go. In Texas, I went to Laguna Gloria Art Museum in Austin, and when we went to Wisconsin, I was Ozaki Art Center, and then ultimately, the work that was done for the show that's going to be at the Yeldarb opening September 28th was done in my own studio in Wisconsin, which was a very large studio, and we were able to have models come in, and other community artists would come in and share the space with us, and we would have modeling twice a week for 3 hours. I just have such a love for the medium of drawing, where you make marks, and depending upon how you make them, they have a magic that brings them alive. And the challenge is always to capture the spirit of the figure and the flow of the pose and the magic that happens when it all comes together correctly. And you have to know a bit about the figure. I'd like to draw the clothed figure just as well. I just think of the skin as kind of the clothing over the soul. And so if you just only think in terms of that relative to whether they're clothed or they're not clothed, they still are an exercise in capturing the spirit and the flow and the feeling of the figure and the dimension of personality, which adds so much more than just the landscape, which still has its own voice and message. But the figures have feelings, emotions, personality, background, all kinds of things that kind of you feel when you work and kind of meditate on the figure when you're drawing. And there's so many different ways to approach it, whether you render it or use different color, or if just strictly in a line can say a lot. A lot of people think you just sit down and do it, but there actually are some kind of scientific elements to know, not that that will make it a convincing drawing, but if you know about foreshortening and you know about all the elements of linear and flow and how to put it down, that's kind of where the magic all kind of comes together. And I had never thought of drawing the figure much further than doing lots of it because it's what I wanted to do. This is the first opportunity that I've had to put up a large show of figurative work. And there'll probably be close to 50 pieces. I don't know how it will be received because the figure is not something everyone understands. And so I will be very anxious to see what kind of reaction we get, having a whole room full of them. And finding that there is a place where we could have all of these that go back a number of years and see them all together. And so I'm really looking forward to doing that. I think it's just kind of an obsession, passion that I'll keep doing it. I just love it. It's just like sitting down and going into another world of interpreting from another human being who's comfortable with their body and is professional about it and knows that as an artist, it's the ultimate discipline to do that and do it right and to make it real. You can fudge a tree, you can fudge a flower, you make it a little bit off here, a little bit off there, and nobody knows. But if everything isn't just so with the figure, it just doesn't work. It just isn't real.
That is definitely an ARTitude answer, and I couldn't agree with Lois more about drawing from a live model being a very serious endeavor for an artist. Sometimes our cultural background can have an influence on our own interpretations, and as a result, what the viewer draws from a particular piece of work says more about their own story than the artist's intent, and that is a good thing most of the time. Lois VanLiew will be showing 50 pieces inspired by the nude that will include simple gesture sketches to fully finished pieces so that you can see the progression of the inspiration. The exhibit will be at the Yeldarb Gallery in the NOTO Arts District in Topeka, Kansas. The show opens September 28, 2013 and will continue through the month of October. The pieces you have seen in this video and more of Lois's fantastic artwork are available as museum quality fine art prints at artprintexpress.com. So go to the site right now and check out her collection of artwork with ARTitude. If you found this video insightful and liberating, please leave a comment and share this with your friends. And as always, may your life be filled with ARTitude.